Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Scorpio is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a timeless reading. This energy was activated the moment you clicked on this video. Try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Scorpio, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. We start with a Knight of Swords. I feel like you're somebody who is, you're not really spending a lot of time considering everything lately. I feel like you're just kind of like, you're saying what you mean. You're not beating around the bush. You're not trying to mince words or walk on eggshells. You're direct. And I think you like people to be direct with you. You're a, what do they call it, a straight shooter. You know, you say what you mean what you say. And I think this is really, really good. And I think it's not for any kind of, like moral reason, right? It's just because we're tired of the BS. We're tired of the nonsense. Okay, we realize, I think, that right now your life needs you to just be honest and straightforward and say what you mean, say what you want, be as clear, as concise as possible with your words. And if people don't like it, well, too bad, right? Let's put this card into a little bit of context. You're not trying to be mean, okay? Here we have, double Libra energies now. Both of these are Libra power cards. The Adjustment card, the Knight of Swords, both of these are Libra energies. We're trying to be diplomatic, we're trying to be fair, but we're also trying to be very, very honest, because I think that you're chasing a dream. You're going after your goals. You got things to do and people to see. You don't have time for nonsense. Okay? And Five of Cups, you're going to disappoint some people. Okay? There's some people are not going to like the choices that you're making or the words that you're saying. Here's the High Priestess, the World, the Queen of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. You are taking responsibility and taking accountability for your life. You're realizing that the only thing that we really have to fear is this idea of being completely passive, being a passenger in life rather than being in the driver's seat, right? Change is inevitable. Things are going to, the world is going to fluctuate, right? The people in your life are going to come and go. The things that you do are going to succeed and they're going to fail. Life is going to go on and on and on and on, right? And that can either be very, very scary, or it can be delicious, right? It's scary if things are changing in a way that we don't like. If our life is moving in a direction that we're not so excited about, right? Toward a less successful life. Change is good when it's in the direction that we want. Change is good when it sort of is in alignment with what my goals are, right? So I think first you have this clarity about you that you know what your goals are. You know what the mountain is that you're trying to climb. You know who you're trying to become, what you're trying to become, what you're trying to do, and where, you're trying to do it. So having that vision of what we want and then doing everything that we can, taking accountability and responsibility for putting forth the right effort, right? We sort of start to nudge the river of change a little bit. Yeah. And I think that we are taking a little bit of responsibility for the direction that the changes of our life are taking. Yeah, that's very empowering. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the Factor Infinite and Unknown. And we just got to put it down right here with Bubo, our mechanical owl. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this program you feel like you know what that card is, put your prediction, your hunch, your guess down in the comments below. Now, let's take a look around the room here. Major, 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 major arcana, a lot of them. We've got some fire, we've got some water, we've got some air, we've got some earth. Okay, pretty good. A lot of major arcana. The overabundance of major arcana say that this is a spiritual mission that you're on. Spirit is trying to show you the best qualities of yourself. What are the spiritual forces of your own soul that need to come out in order for you to get to your goal? Well, you got to have your ambition, you got to have your discernment, you got to have the clarity, and you've got to sort of believe that it's possible. You know, the fire and earth cards that we have, these are very special. The Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, fire and earth. It's the magical, it's the art and science of manifestation. It's the magical connection. It is the work of the magician. It is the spiritual electrical circuit of creation, fire to earth, right? Heaven to earth, above to below, impulse to action, will to action, will to behavior, inspiration to implementation, right? That is the spiritual fire of creativity and its manifestation. Instantaneously, boom, done. Right? It's the electrical circuit. But like every electrical circuit, it needs a conductor. It needs, well, a conductor, like a musical conductor, but it needs the human heart and mind to facilitate that. Something has to conduct the electricity here to earth, from fire to earth, right? And in the tarot, in the Hermetic elements, you've got your fire, then you've got water and air, and then earth at the bottom. So the water and the air is the human heart and mind. It's us, as people, as human beings, right? At least most of us. And that's what we see here in the reading. We've got your ambition, we've got your will to action, your inspiration, and we've got your electrical circuit of creation, and we've got the air and the water, and even with this Libra energy, we've got the air and the water that's going to facilitate that, that's going to make that connection, bridge that gap, going to conduct the electricity, right? And that's what we see here with a very strong Libra energy. I would watch the Libra reading if I were you. We just did it. Came right before you. This is your higher discernment. This is your ability to, in real time, judge things. No judgment, right? Oh, we don't want to judge things, but we need to. We're going to anyway. We might as well judge things consciously rather than unconsciously and let our biases sort of rule us. This is the card of higher discernment. In real time, we are evaluating our choices. We are judging every single thing, every thought, every word, every deed, every person, every pet, every plant, every person in our lives. We're judging it. Now, we're not assigning an intrinsic value. We're not saying, that person is inherently bad or this type of cereal is inherently bad. We're saying, for me right now, in a relative way, this is not a good choice for me, but this over here is. And we're doing that with people, we're doing that with relationships, we're doing that with our own actions, our own behaviors. We're really observing. We're having a conversation with ourselves and thinking, what am I doing right now? Is this what I should be doing? Our higher discernment is going to sort of evaluate and say, well, nothing's all good, nothing's all bad, right? So it's kind of saying, for me right now, at this point in my life and with what my goals are, is this decision, is this thought, word, and deed going to be the best conductor of my intention into the realm of manifestation? How do I become a better magician, right? How do I become a better conductor of the electricity, of the spiritual creative force, that divine infinite energy? So we're evaluating and we're assigning value to things. It's karma. Every thought, word, and deed right now in the present moment is creating who we are, where we are, and what we're doing in the future. It's karma. Okay. And what we see in the future position is the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups is not necessarily negative. right? It is sometimes a card of disappointment. Sometimes it's a card of saying, I wish there was harmony, but there's no harmony here. So we have to realize our choices. With that higher discernment, our assignment of value and the resulting actions. Are we creating a better life for ourselves or a worse life for us? So when we analyze our thoughts, words, and deeds, and we think about the consequences of our actions or our words or our decisions or whatever, when we sort of extrapolate and say, okay, how is that going to affect life? Am I going to be happier? Am I going to be better off or worse off for doing this thing now? And some decisions aren't really that much, Do I have iceberg lettuce or romaine lettuce today? Do I have spinach or do I have kale, right? It's kind of like, not really going to see much of a difference depending on what we choose, but we still have to make those choices. Otherwise, we're just going to be stuck all day like, I don't know what kind of cruciferous vegetable to have right now. But in the bigger decisions, do I talk to this? Do I engage with this person? Do I take that job? Do I go that direction? Do I say this word? Or do I get involved in that conflict? Or do I just sort of keep to myself and go somewhere else, go a different direction, right? A lot of our decisions are either making our life better or worse, right? Very little is neutral. Very, very little is neutral in life. Even spinach or kale. I mean, I don't know. It just depends. I'm sure one is going to be slightly better for you given your physiology and your metabolism or where you got the vegetables or whatever, or how much you have of each one, etc., or how your stomach tolerates it. Sometimes I can't eat too much spinach, but I love kale, especially steamed with a little bit of rice. Put some ghee on it. Ooh, it's good. So every choice we make is going to make our lives either a little bit better or a little bit worse. Okay? And we have to be able to understand that. And also to understand that the choices that I make that may be good for me, they might not always be apparently good for other people. You might make a choice, and I think that's kind of what's going on here. Is you're making choices right now in your life for you that are going to improve your life. Not everybody is going to like that. Not everybody's going to have a good reaction to that. Okay? But you've got ambition. You've got your devil energy behind you. Okay? And this is that goat, right? This is that driving force. This is that generative drive. The goat will climb the mountain, will do it alone if it has to. You see mountain goats, they usually travel in packs, 3, 4, 5 of them, right? I don't know. But they can go alone if they really want to. But the idea is that if anybody is trying to interfere with your goals in life, they don't need to be in your life. If your friends are trying to drag you down and prevent you from aspiring, prevent you from manifesting the good life that you want, are they your friends? If that relationship that you're in, if that choice that we're about to make, or the choice that we have already made and we're about to make it again, by not doing anything about it, right? By repeating the thing, is that choice really good for me? Or is that preventing us from getting to the goal that we want, getting to whatever the success is for you? Now, of course, we want to minimize the collateral damage, right? We don't want our choices to really cause too many waves in other people's lives. But we can't live our lives trying not to rock the boat because we don't want to make waves for everybody. Everything we do is a wave. Everything we do is a seed of karma for our future self. Everything we do creates a ripple. Every thought creates a ripple in the fabric of the cosmos. Okay? So we have to be aware of that. And there is no possible way to not do that. Just simply the fact that we're breathing, thinking, beings is creating a ripple in time and space. Okay. But this card is about that ambition. This is about your creative drive, your generative drive. And this is something that you have to be very, very observant and very introspective about as well with our higher discernment, of our Libra energy. We're not just looking at the future. We got to look above, below, and behind us. What's motivating you? What is pushing you forward? This goat is like driving you forward into your life. We have to understand our motivations. Are we being driven by just pleasure? Are we being driven by aggression? Do we like causing ripples in other people's lives and making waves, right? Are we driven by this generative, creative drive? See, I'm of the belief that we all have this drive in us, the desire to do something, the desire to act, right? But what's the motivation? Is it to create? Is it to make the world a better place? Is it to improve the quality of life for ourselves and others, right? Is it to alleviate suffering for ourselves and others, right? Is it generative? Are we creating something, building something? Or is it pleasure drive or aggressive drive? That's what I believe we have, right? And that we have to look at the goat and be like, what are you doing? Why am I making the choices I'm making? When we're about to say that thing to our friend, why am I saying that? Do I know it's going to hurt? Do I know it's going to rock their world a little bit and shake their foundations? Or am I doing it because I have to say what I need to say for my own benefit because I'm trying to create something better in life, and this is it's inevitable. We have to be able to look at ourselves that way and ask, why am I doing this? Right? Why do I keep doing the same? Why do I have there was a time where I was eating ice cream every night. Oh, I love ice cream so much. You know that about me. It's my weakness. It's my kryptonite, ice cream. Any flavor. I love it. There was a point where I was eating it every day, every night. Oh, big bowl of ice cream. And I was like, wait a minute. Why? What am I doing? Why am I having a bowl of ice cream every single day? Every single night before bed, I have a big bowl of ice cream. What am I creating through that? Is that just a aggressive drive? Well, no. I mean, not really. Not unless I'm angry at myself or something. Is it a pleasure drive? Yeah, probably. I like the sensation of eating the ice cream and the sweetness and the coldness and then, yeah. I wasn't building anything. It wasn't serving a purpose other than gratifying, satisfying a pleasure, a desire, right? And there are a million other things. That's just my silly example. But we need to be able to look at what is behind us, what is pushing us forward, what is driving us toward the things that we do and the things we say, our thoughts, words, and deeds. Okay, thoughts, words, and deeds. Spirit is saying something about you working with food. I don't know if you're in food service or you have restaurants or something like this, right? And also plant medicine. Is that something we're thinking about, or something that we have done, or something that we're involved with, or I don't know why that suddenly comes up, the plant medicine, yeah? I guess plant medicine and food kind of go together, don't they? Anyway, below the surface, you have this sun card. This is clarity. This is knowing who I am and why I'm here. It's my job and my duty to shine my light into the world. This is the proper motivation for that goat. The goat is just here to make the sun shine, to bring the sunlight out to the world, right? That's your ambition. That's your driving force, is to be who you are and be what you are and be true to yourself. Be authentic and be true to yourself. And so it is with clarity and discernment, it is with motivation, it is with love that we are trying to do the things in life. That's the basis for our thoughts, words, and deeds, right? Truth and love and light. You're trying to be your true self. You're trying to give your light out to the world. You're trying to fulfill whatever you understand your destiny to be. You are a sun trying to find your orbit in the universe here, trying to find your place among the stars. These two positions of the dove and serpent spread are intimately connected. This is within you, this is outside of you. This is you, this is your environment, okay? It's the same position in every spread. And you got the sun and the universe around it. So this, it really is a cosmic thing here. You're trying to find your cosmic path. Trying to find your place among the stars. That was a book, wasn't it? Who wrote that book? Your Place Among the Stars? I don't remember. Anyway, the Ace of Pentacles at the top is, of course, the thought, word, and deed itself. But this is also kind of like the summit of the mountain. I always look at the aces as being the top, being the absolute purity, the perfection of something. It's aces, that saying. And to me, it feels like the tens should be the base of the mountain. where there's a lot of room for different things. And we can have a lot of different things. We can make a lot of whatever choices. They don't really matter so much. When you're at the base of the mountain, your choices are not that critical. You can make a lot of bad decisions if you want. It doesn't really matter. The further up you get, the more narrow becomes the path as you get to the top of the mountain. And your choices become absolutely life and death, critical. Every choice, even just kale or spinach, like which one? It becomes the most essential decision. Everything feels that important and that serious, right? And, I like the mountain climbing analogy. I'm not really a mountaineer myself, but I love the vibe of it, I guess. Ever since I watched that show on Netflix, Everest, right? Ever since I watched that show, there's like 2 or 3 seasons of it. It's excellent. It documents a particular team of a particular expedition, one company that takes people up the mountain. But anyway, it's a wonderful show. I'm not advertising that show. They're not a sponsor or anything, but they could be if they wanted to. The further up we get the mountain, the further up we go, the more narrow becomes the path, the more important become every little decision. Every little choice, every step we take becomes like, are you sure that's where you want to put your foot? Are you sure you want to say that word or do that thing or look in that direction or breathe that way or you're sure you want your heart to beat that fast or slow? Like everything becomes crucial. And especially on something like mountain climbing, when you get close to the top, every little move you make needs to be precise. There is no room for error. It gets the margin for error gets razor thin the closer you get to the top. And when everybody's at the top, it doesn't really matter what your differences are. We're all the same. On the summit of the mountain, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, or where you started, or what path you took to get here. It's just the fact that we're all up here. And I think when you get to the absolute highest levels of any industry in the world, everybody's the same. Everybody kind of knows. It's like you may come from very different paths, but when you're at the very top of your field, it's like you have a commonality. You share something with all those other people. Whether you're getting to the very best of some sport or getting to the very, very highest levels of business or the highest levels of, I don't even know anything. Everybody's kind of the same. Everybody knows the struggle. Everybody knows these kind of like ubiquitous principles. Everybody, and I feel like there's a commonality there. Anyway, the path that we see, right, the clarity that you see getting to the mountain, you've got to have that discernment about what decisions to make as you climb up to get to the top, right? And so to get to the top, you have to go this way. You have to go through this discernment. You have to go through your thoughts, words, and deeds. That's how you climb the mountain. We don't just sit around shining. The sun is not a stationary object. The sun, for one, is burning up all this fuel. Can't help it radiating this light out to the world. But the sun also has a tremendous orbit through the cosmos. I don't know what it's doing. Maybe it's circling the black hole or something? I don't know. But the sun has its own orbit. We just think the sun is stationary and we're going around and around and around. The sun's also hurtling thousands of miles an hour through space, And to get to the top, to get to the goals that you have in life, you've got to have the discernment. You've got to go through your thoughts, words, and deeds. That's the conduit. That is the conductor. And even here, right? Fire, creative fire, and earth. Fire and earth has to go through the heart and mind. Has to go through the mind, and sort of a byproduct is the heart in a way. But not quite the byproduct. I think the emotional results of your choices are not the deciding factor. And what I mean is that some of your choices may not feel good. That's okay. Some of your choices may not feel good for others, but feel really good for you. That's okay. That's not the deciding factor. Deciding factor is your higher wisdom and discernment coming from spirit, your conscience, your higher self, true self, God, goddess, deity, guardian angel, spirit guides, ancestors, whatever you want to call it. How we feel about it emotionally is kind of like secondary consideration, right? Let's talk about the path of the serpent here. Here we got that intuition. I like that. The high priestess. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, though, please do. These readings are free. Now, your high priestess is leading you to your best life. This is the card. This is the energy that's leading you by the hand up the mountain. This is your higher self, true self, God, goddess, deity, guardian angel, spirit guides, ancestors, showing you the way to your best life, showing you the way up the mountain. And we have to trust that, because sometimes it's not gonna feel right. Like, I don't want to make that decision. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I don't want to like squeeze past somebody. I don't want to make somebody else feel bad. I don't want to cause any waves in anybody else's life. The high priestess is leading you forward. Okay, this is the intuition. This is the starlight, right? That's sort of illuminating the path before you. Yeah. I feel like you're somebody with a very strong connection with the spiritual energy. I think that you are a bit of I almost feel like you're a medium of some kind, right? You have an intense ability to communicate. And I think the words that come through you are inspired. I don't know, maybe you're a writer, maybe you're a poet, maybe you're a speaker, a motivational speaker, maybe you are just a medium, maybe you channel this divine energy in some way. And it comes out through your thoughts, words, and deeds. And it's something that is communicated to other people, and they may not always like the message, right? But it's the message that they need to hear. Maybe you do divination, tarot, or something like this. You don't always tell people what they want to hear. Spirit doesn't always tell you what you want to hear, but very often what you need to hear. Okay. Now, in the environment, we have the world, right? It really is about the world that you're creating. That's what is external to you, and that's kind of infinite possibilities. You're trying to find your place among the stars. You're trying to figure out what your orbit is through the infinite cosmos. You're trying to find out which star in the company of stars is you. Which one of these are you, right? So we're here and we're realizing that we're responsible for creating our world, the universe by itself. If there was no sun, if there were no stars, it would be cold and empty and dark and lonely, right? You're trying to be the very best version of yourself so that you can make the world a better place. You are a shining lamp of love and light in the universe. That's all you can be. We're hoping that other people do that too, and then guess what? We create a whole company of stars, a whole universe filled with light and love and life. But you can't control what other people do. You can try to make the world the best place that you're capable of making it. Your personal reality, right? You are the architect. You are the source of all the light and life and love in your personal reality. And you really hope other people around you are going to do the same. And then you got some companionship, But like the lone mountain goat says, companions would be nice, but I don't need them. Okay, you're looking for other lights that shine the way you shine. They don't have to be doing the same thing that you do, but they have to be bright. Right? They have to be illuminated, I think. We realize that the universe is either cold and empty and hostile, or it is teeming with life and love, and it's full, and it's friendly, and it's beautiful. And we realize that we're the creators of this universe. We are creators of our own personal reality. Maybe you believe that, God created the cosmos. Sure, okay. I don't know. I don't know one way or the other. I know what I feel, I feel that we are also creators of our own universe, our own microcosm. We're creators of ourselves. We're creators of our personal reality through this process of fire to earth, through the heart and mind to manifest. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that any one of us created the universe, but we created our own reality. Through our thoughts, words, and deeds, we create the world in which we live. Okay. I'm not trying to get religious or anything. That's not what this show is about. The obstacle is, of course, this, I think, the I want to say passivity, but I don't feel like that really captures it. It is the Queen of Cups. This is the obstacle. This is the energy that we don't necessarily want. And this is kind of almost, extinguishing the light. This is almost sinking something to the bottom of the ocean so that it can't disturb anybody. This is the idea of pushing down our own impulses and desires and aspirations and our own light, pushing this down, down, down so that we're not causing any waves. This is the obstacle. The obstacle here is, the range of emotions, that it's just like you do something that feels good for you, but other people are upset. You do something that make other people feel good, but then you feel something's wrong with what you're doing. Like, we just can't please all the people all the time. There's no way to make everything all good. I love that phrase. I used to say it a lot in the 90s. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. And usually when people say that, it doesn't really mean that everything is perfect. What it means is that I accept that things are imperfect, but it's okay. It's okay that things are imperfect, right? When you say it's all good, you don't literally mean that 100% of things are excellent. It means I don't mind that some things are not good, right? And so with the Queen of Cups here, I feel like this is the acceptance that we need to develop, the realization, the compassion for the world that just says that there's going to be suffering. There's going to be waves. There's going to be ripples and casualties. Things are going to be, the choices that I make, even though I try to be discerning and you're trying to use your higher wisdom and make the right choices all the time, other people are going to be upset by that. You can't please all the people all the time. You cannot exist in this life without creating some waves somewhere. Yeah. And I think that's the one obstacle for you, because I feel like you're a bit of an empath. I feel like you really are a compassionate person, and I think that your empathy, sometimes, or I don't know if it's like a ubiquitous love or compassion that sort of can get in the way of you asserting yourself. Because that's the river you have to cross to get to your true will. And we've got that Ace of Wands. And that really is your inspiration. This is your will, your intention, your idea. This is you taking accountability. This is you giving your life the direction and saying, I'm climbing that mountain. I'm going down that path. And so this is really the activation of this energy down here that's going up this way. I want to look at the mystery card. I want this to be the Empress or a Ace of Cups, maybe. Or, maybe some other water energy, maybe a 9 of Cups or something like this. A 6 would be cool. If you have a prediction, Scorpio, put it in the comments. Okay? Let's see. The Hanged Man. Oh, interesting. Interesting. It was already been a half an hour. Now it's going to be another half an hour. I'll try to make it quick. The Hanged Man is a couple of things. One, it is the surrender of our intention. It's kind of saying, I give up on life. It's kind of saying that if I'm going to, if I want to make things all good for everybody, I've got to give up on my dreams. This is a card of sacrifice and suffering, and putting ourselves on the back burner, putting ourselves in the back seat, or deprioritizing our own dreams and hopes and wishes and aspirations. Okay, putting our own lives on hold, basically, for the sake of the happiness of other people, or the pleasure of other people. For the positive emotions of other people, we're going to just suspend our activities. We're going to suspend what we need to do. It's kind of like you're trying to do your good work here, and someone says, hey, you're inconveniencing me. And you say, okay, I'm sorry, I'll stop. I'll stop doing it. Okay. This is the complete surrender of our own will, our own ambition. This is also a card, it's always going to be surrender, right? But sometimes this is the card that's saying I have to surrender to those things in life that I cannot change. If I'm doing my will, I'm doing my work, I'm following my will and my aspirations, I'm trying to make good, healthy, positive choices to be a benefit to the world, I've analyzed my motivations, I understand my thoughts, words, and deeds, and I'm trying to make good decisions every moment of every day. Some people don't like it. That's out of my control. I can't do nothing about that. So this card becomes an exercise of surrender. Are we surrendering ourselves to the will of the world, to really not wanting to make waves? Or are we surrendering this sort of problem, or this challenge that we have of like not wanting to rock the boat. We have to learn to surrender and accept those things in life that we cannot change. All we can do is have the clarity about who we are, why we're here, our motivations, our thoughts, words, and deeds, be discerning. And if it affects other people in a challenging way, or if it inconveniences or upsets other people, que sera, sera, right? That's the sort of surrender that we're after here. Surrendering that need to like please everybody or make sure everything is okay. And I don't know, maybe we grew up this way, where you had to walk on eggshells so that you wouldn't upset other people. That just like, I remember when I was a kid, we lived in a real, very small house when I was a kid. I mean, I don't even know the square footage. It was small, right? Very small house. And the floor would creak. And anytime I was a kid, I'd wake up to go use the bathroom. And I'd try to tiptoe so I wouldn't creak the floor. The floor would creak, and my dad would wake up and be like, "What are you doing? Go back to bed. Quit waking us up," And then as a kid, you start to feel guilty for just having to go up and answer the call of nature, And so we realize that, no, you know what? This is what I have to do. This is almost for you, I think, like a biological imperative. This is a spiritual imperative for you. This is what you're meant to do. And if other people are going to be inconvenienced by that, you can try to sort of minimize that and mitigate the inconvenience, but you got to live your life. You've got to do what you're put on this earth to do. And sometimes this card has to be the surrender of that concern. I'm going to do what I can, and then I'm not going to worry about it. Surrender has been a topic that's been coming up in my life personally for a while now. This idea of changing the things we can change, taking accountability for what we can do, and letting go of the rest. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an oracle card. We'll do an I Ching reading. There's a link in the corner. There is a link down below. New readings for Scorpio on Wednesday and Saturday. 6 a.m. Chicago time. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Does not cost anything. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are free. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Let me know how you're doing. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you. And we're all in this together.